So how do you create a business as usual scenario for your area for the future? Click on Add Scenario, create a new scenario, click on Business as Usual, and Create. Once again, you will have to choose your watershed and click Next. I am going to create a business as usual for the BAU watershed. Click Next. Here we have the choice of choosing different climate change scenarios. I'm going to currently leave that as none and click Run the Scenario. What the business as usual scenario is showing what might happen to this particular study area in the next 30 years based on change that we have seen in the last 30 years. You can see that the indicators are now showing where those indicators currently are. And if I click back to the landscape summary, it shows us where we are in 2020 and where we might get in 2050. But let's see it on the screen for ourselves. Press play, and we witness 30 years of possible change before our eyes and how the indicators might change. In a classroom situation, you may wish to go through each one of the indicators and try and explain why the indicator changed the way it did. If you want to now look at how this scenario would change under different climate change scenarios, you can go to the climate change and click, for example, the hot climate change scenario. The simulator will then recalculate, and if we press play yet again, we can see how the landscape types and the indicators will change under the hot climate change scenario. If you wish to create a report showing what has actually happened, you will then click down on Reports and you will create a new report. You can choose which scenarios you would like to compare. For example, I could maybe explore the Bow River watershed business as usual in a hot scenario, as well as the historic, and then click Launch Report. This will show the comparison between the historic changes that we saw in the watershed and what the business as usual for the next 30 years is predicting will happen under the hot RCP 8.5 climate change scenarios. You may choose to save your report. You can also email it, share on social media with your teacher and or family.